And welcome back. The recent attack on Ikeja Electric by Air Force personnel has left at least 15 staff members hospitalized, raising concerns about military-civilian relations and abuse of power. Witnesses recount scenes of brutality as officers stormed the facility, allegedly in response to a service dispute. The incident, widely condemned, has sparked outrage from labor unions, human rights groups, and the public at large. Following the uproar, the Nigerian Air Force has issued an official apology, acknowledging the excesses of its officers and vowing to take disciplinary action against those responsible. The move, while welcomed by some, has done little to ease concerns over systemic issues of impunity and abuse of security forces. And how will the situation be resolved, and what measures are being put in place to prevent a recurrence?
Spokesman, Association of Nigerian Electricity Distributors. You are welcome, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Sir, it's a very worrying situation that happened over last week.
Yes.
But we would like, first off, if you can give us a full picture of exactly what had happened, how these Air Force men came in and what happened after that.
Thank you very much. Our problem with the Nigerian Air Force base, which they call Sam Etnam Air Force Base at Ikeja, started way back on the 1st of November 2013, the very first day of privatization, when we had to bill our customers and then make effort to collect what they are owing us. So as at the 31st of December 2022, their total bill was 7.5 billion naira. And thanks to the government of President Muhammad Buhari and in particular Mr. Babatunde Fashola, who was the then Minister of Power. So they paid 4.3 billion out of the 7.5 billion, leaving an outstanding balance of 3.2 billion as at the 31st of December 2022. And that billing was not in contention. So in 2023, they ran up a bill totaling 1.4 billion naira, and they paid 1.2 billion naira, leaving a total outstanding balance of 191 million naira. Let me make one point. When this new government came to power in 2023, this current president seemed to be a strong believer in the fact that ministries, departments, and agencies, including National Rock, should be paying their utility bills. You recall that there was a time we threatened to disconnect National Rock Villa. Why? Because there were outstanding electricity bills before President Tinubu came on board. That very week, because we don't even know whether they even let the president or their Oga know about all of these things. Some people collect the bill and just think nothing will happen. But when we threatened and we went out to speak to the media, the president got to know that very same week, the president cleared out the bill led by his predecessors, right? And they've been paying consistently since then. So we have no problem with the government. Now, these military people, particularly this Air Force base at Ikeja, like I said, 2023 out of 1.4, they pay 1.2. In 2024, their consumption went up by another over 100 million to a total of 1.5 billion naira. But guess what? Despite that, the fact that they collected money, because I didn't know, and you can check, money accrued a lot to the Federation account and to all the agencies, more in 2024 than even in 2023. Despite the fact that they were able to pay 1.2 out of 1.4 in 2023. When they had a bill of 1.5 in 2024, they only paid 623 million naira.
Million?
Yes.
I'm guessing
less than 1 billion. And they were owing 1.5 billion. And we kept on asking for this. So outstanding balance for 2023, 191 million. Outstanding balance for 2024, 893 million. And remember, I mentioned the outstanding balance for prior to 2023, which is up to December 2022, making a total outstanding balance of 4,340,566,000. So we then decided to keep asking them for this money. So in June 2024, the staff that was sent to Ikeja Air Force Base are beaten up. We didn't go to the press. We didn't shout. They were beaten up in June 2024. And the person we know there, who we thought is an officer and a gentleman, and we have a meeting with him. His name is Air Vice Marshal Ikeja Electric. And we have had a series of meetings with him. We have sent a series of letters to them. We have sent a total of 5 letters between June 2024 and now. And every letter we sent, we copied the Chief of Air Staff. So the Chief of Air Staff, who may be in Abuja, knows all about this thing. But they ignored it. And this is now what we did. We thought that we can find an amicable way to get our money. And when I say our money, when you hear all these figures, please, I want Nigerians to know that the money does not belong to us as Ikeja Electric alone. The money belongs to the electricity market, to the value chain. The discos only get 20% of whatever they collect. For every 10 naira they collect from you, their own is only 20%. We have to pay the generation companies, who are the producers of electricity. We have to pay the transmission company and all stakeholders, including payment to CBN. There has been an existing CBN loan, which everybody in the power sector is aware of. So we wrote to them, we had meetings with them, and the last meeting we had, first of all, on the 29th of July, 2024, we wrote a letter to them to tell them that now that they are not paying, they should allow us to install a device. The device is called auto recloser. What does it do? This device enables us to manage supply to any community or any place once we agree with the customer as to how many hours can you afford to pay for. And what we do is to install this device depending on their record of payment, ability to pay, and willingness to pay. In the case of Ikeja Air Force Base, they are able to pay. Their problem is not inability to pay. It is just that they are not willing to pay. It is the highest level of impunity. So when we did that, we had a meeting with Air Vice Marshal Ikeja Electric and his team on the 3rd of October 2024. That was after the first letter. And at that meeting, he was obviously not happy that, because the auto recloser creates a limited, a restricted, you can't get 24 hours through that installation. He wasn't happy with that. We now said, okay, Oga, if you are not happy for us to agree on the number of hours that you can pay for, then let's install prepaid meter. So we requested that he should give us access, that we should install prepaid meter. He agreed at that meeting. But guess what happened? October 9, we wrote another letter to them about giving us access to install prepaid meter. They ignored it. We copied the Chief of Air Staff. So on the 25th of October, we now wrote another letter saying, we are coming to install prepaid meter for you, high voltage prepaid meter, on Monday, the 2nd of December, 2024, so that you can pay as you go. Mm-hmm. They didn't say anything. So on that day, our contractors and our staff went to Ikeja Air Force Base. They were denied access. They were turned back. So after that, we now check the auto recloser that we installed. We found out that they have vandalized it twice.
So you had access to install the auto recloser when?
That one, we installed that one just at the point of entering their premises, so it was easier to do that. But they vandalized it. Okay. And this is a criminal offense. And we are surprised that people, military people, should be the one involved in energy theft. I mean, we have evidence of all of this. And we then wrote a letter to them. We wrote a letter on the 17th of January 2025 called Notification of Tampering with Auto Reclosure. And we also made them to understand that they actually disconnected the communication cable which enable us from the head office to know how the device is working. So we did that, thinking that they will call us back and we can sit down and work this thing out. All we want is for us to have payment plan. Okay, we are owing you, this is how much we can pay, this is how we're going to pay the debt. And then we really want them to have prepaid meter. They didn't say anything, they ignored us. So 2 days ago, I was at Ikeja. I'm based in Abuja, but I had a meeting with them at Ikeja. And I had to go very early because they were going out to somewhere in Ogun State, after Ota, to do there was this solar power plant that was to be commissioned. So they were all ready to go. So we had some of our staff inside a coaster bus in the premises. Others were just coming in. The MDC of Ikeja was inside her own SUV, a Toyota Prado, and other staff. We had 16 other buses that was to take our staff to that place. I was in front of MITV. I was about to cross, my driver dropped in front of MITV, which is directly opposite Ikeja Electric. As I was about to cross the road, I just saw truckloads, over 100 fully armed Air Force personnel. And that was from where I took my own video of the event. And they started beating people.
They just went straight into beating people. I
will give you, in fact, the scale defense, they were beating customers, everybody they saw.
No explanation why they were there.
No explanation. Fully armed, threatening to shoot people. A guy, Mr. Dario Olawi, Punch newspaper energy correspondent, was mercilessly beaten. They took his phone and broke the phone. The TVC cameraman was also beaten, and they took the tripod away. Then they actually broke the doors and went into the building. At the reception area, so many members of our staff, they were all asked to lie down, including a pregnant woman. And as they were juvenilizing these people, they broke into the ICT department, took all the equipment away. They broke into the billing department. They went to HR. They went to the FDCO's office.
So there are cases of theft as well.
Oh, yes. They ransacked everywhere. They seized our members of staff. They seized their phones.
Were they given back? Did they give them back their phones?
Including somebody's wristwatch. They returned some. A lot of them were not returned up to now. That's why I say, when you hear them say, they say they have apologized, it's too little and too late. And I see this, and I hope the political class can think. Because as far as I'm concerned, I thought, before that incident, I thought we have in this country the president, who is also known as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And I thought that there is a hierarchy in the military. I thought before somebody can authorize the signing out of guns from an Air Force base, taking troops out from that place, somebody must have done that. That person ought to think of their superior officers, up to Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Defense Staff, National Security Advisor, and of course the President. This didn't happen when we had retired military people as President. And that's a message. Because for us, we consider what happened to us as a coup against the discourse. And I hope the political class will begin to think, because for them to do this in broad daylight, this can happen in larger scale. These people think they are above the law. Air Vice Marshal A.K. Ademulegun did something funny after all his lawlessness. They now came to our premises on a so-called peace mission, as if we were at war. They came to say, we want to assess the damages, and then they promised that we will investigate, we will do something. But let me tell you something that happened. You know, I told you they took 16 of our drivers with the buses away to their Air Force base. On getting there, they tortured them, beat them mercilessly. But the driver saw a senior officer who commanded those that he was the one that asked our staff to be beaten. But when Air Vice Marshal A.K. Ademulegun came on his mission, he brought that same senior officer. So he knew about it.
On a peace mission.
So this is something that was planned very well, because when they came in, the first thing they did was to be taking off all the CCTV cameras. We have evidence of this. They did that, and they went away with the database of our CCTV cameras.
Can you explain? You said
and
they
never
came in.
Returned it back.
They came in and they took out the CCTV cameras
Oh, yes.
themselves.
Yes.
This was on what occasion? On the peace?
On that day,
on the day of
in the morning when they came
during the attack.
during the invasion.
During the event? Okay, good.
Yes. So they took away all the CCTV cameras. They broke all the CCTV cameras, right? The cameras, but they took away all the database. Thereby thinking that nobody can see them. But some of us outside the premises were able to film them. So we have videos of them, we have pictures of what they did, and of course journalists came in, because the journalists that were going to follow us to the commission were there, and they were all beaten too. The chief technical officer of Ikeja Electric was hospitalized. He was beaten with blood gushing out of his mouth, because it was the first time they found by the security door as they came into the premises. So this is a very barbaric and unfortunate action. And I remember at one of the meetings that Ikeja Electric that we had with this Air Vice Marshal A.K. Ademulegun, he was bragging. He was telling us, this is a debtor, and debtors have now gone to beat creditors. He was bragging. He said, we should understand their importance, that they are the one protecting the territorial integrity of Nigeria. Is that a reason not to pay your bill?
Well, sir, because we're pretty much ready for time, Mr. Oduntan, I have to ask you, with their issuing of apology and their peace visit to your office, you said that the attack was a coup against the discos.
Correct.
What is the next step of address for the discos?
Number one.
Are you taking it to court? Do you have enough evidence?
We will take all possible legal action, and if we do not get justice, we will make it and expose it to the world. The whole world have to know, because there are military, there are Air Force bases in the UK, in the US. We've never seen this happen in other countries. And they do not have any respect for the civilian authorities. Because if they do, we are not in the military government. This is something next to the invasion of Fela Anikulapo's house in 1978. Some of us were old enough to know what happened then. To us, there cannot be resolution without restitution. They have destroyed properties worth of over 1 billion. And unless and until somebody own up to this, they have to fish out the culprits. Like I said, a senior officer came on that delegation, the same person that tortured 16 of our drivers at Ikeja Air Force Base the same day. That is not the way to run Nigeria.
Is it true that the MD and the CEO was stuck in the back of a vehicle?
Oh, I will tell you about that one, because I was there. It wasn't the Air Force personnel that put her in the boot of the car. I will tell you what happened. She was about to go, and I told you, she was in her car. As soon as they came there, I said, where's your MD? Where's your MD? That was when the driver cleverly turned that SUV, drove it to the back of the building, that Ikeja Electric building, at the back of the premises, and she was then kept inside the boot for her safety. This woman, they will have brutalized her.
Okay, sir,
So
I just wanted to make a call, a point out. Now, the expressions of our guest here today have been his own experience from the gates as the events unfolded. Now, we are also extending a right of reply and inviting the members, especially Air Vice, what was the name again?
Air Vice Marshal A.K. Ademulegun, the
Air Vice Marshal A.K. Ademulegun.
Yes,
we're inviting him or the spokesperson to come through to our News Central studio so that we could have their side of the story from start to finish, the peace mission or even the alleged attack. So we would like to have you guys over so we can have this full rounded conversation regarding the experience that the DISCO members and the Ikeja Electric staff experienced and what could or could not have been an attack. Please do.
Yeah.
Yes,
and also there's a list of, the attacks didn't just start today. From how he narrated it, Mr. Oduntan here, who is a spokesperson, he said that these attacks have started long before 2025. Yeah. He also talked about when they went in to install the estimated, the prepaid meters, they were not allowed and they were asked to go back. There were persons who went there to ask for their payment and they were held back and bitten. Also, what's the name of the device, sir, that was vandalized, that was installed in front of the NAF quarters, that was also vandalized as well. Yeah, exactly. So there's so much more that is not just the attack, but also the bill as well. If you have cleared the bill, if you're saying that the bill that he has, because we have a full account of how much I was paid from the beginning to the end, if you're saying that it's been cleared, we can also come with proof. Again, it's a right of reply, and the invitation is open.
So, sir, what lessons to be taken out of this? You've talked about a system where it could never have happened when you referred to the military system. Here in this kind of thing, it's not the first time it's happened. We've had experience from well, other infrastructures being vandalized by people who are supposed to actually be looking after it. Well, not being vandalized, but people who help to make sure these support people been beaten up. What can we learn from this? Where are we going with this in Nigeria?
For some of us who were in the trenches in the course of the June 12th struggle, I was a member of the Nadeko abroad, and I know that this one, what has happened now, is a big lesson for the political class. That's why when I see them, some of them, the one that will kiss her husband publicly, the husband that will kiss his own wife to make a point, I see this as a very unnecessary distraction. They should now learn their lesson and concentrate on good governance. If anybody tells you that the music can never strike again, what happened to us at Ikeja Electric is an indication that there are some of these, there are a lot of them that have honor, good ones, good professionals among our military men. But you see, Ikeja Air Force Base, we need the Air Force to help us in the fight against insurgency, banditry. In other countries, they should not be too idle to be able to be giving guns, to go into civilian premises, to be beating people up. We do not expect a senior officer to supervise torture. And like I said, unless and until they do this in public, fish out them, let us know those who ordered what, who sent who. Our politicians need to learn that lesson. In fact, the president needs to know and define the meaning of being the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Because these armed forces, I remember many years ago, that was around 1992, the late Chief M.K. Abiola, one of his sons was beaten on the airport road by the same Air Force personnel from Air Force Base Ikeja, the same place. When the guy was beaten, Chief Abiola, being an important or prominent man, friend of the military president, went to complain. The then chief of air staff, while apologizing, he said, you know, they are mad dogs. For us, we thought we have done away with the era of mad dogs. When in a civilian regime, you cannot see military men on the street of London. I lived there for 32 years. And we have barracks everywhere. In Woolwich, Southeast London, they are there. But you won't see them roaming about. You can't see them with guns going to civilian premises. And injury to one is injury to all. Now, we, the discourse, are the ones suffering this. I assure you, one day, they will go to these media premises and invade you, beat you all up, because they think nothing will happen. Unless something is done to teach, beginning from Air Vice Marshal A.K. Ademulego, I call him out again, beginning from this gentleman and his officers, unless something is done to show them that we're in a civil society, this thing will continue. And I'm afraid Nigeria cannot talk about a settled democracy if military men can come out and behave as if they are above the law. That's the lesson for me.
Mr. Sunday Oduntan, thank you very much for this very descriptive narration of the events from last week.
And also, we want to say that to the members of your team that have gone through such harrowing time, it's very sad to be at your place of work and doing your job, and somebody comes out of nowhere to attack you when you are at your labor to do your job. Our heart goes out to them, and we hope them a quick recovery, and they go through this traumatic time, come out on the other side, and still able to do their job with so much zest and grace.
Thank you very much.
Still also give us life. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's traumatic. It's
it really is.
But
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.